everyone, and welcome to Autumn is Here. I'm your host, Francine Crawford, and today we're going to speak to Karen Cherry. She spoke to us before about older adults. She works for the mayor's office, and now we're going to speak to her about not only older adults as far as her profession, but also being a caregiver. Welcome to the show, Karen. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being a part of Autumn is Here and being able to speak to us and give us some insight. So, like I said, you did speak before and you do work for the mayor's office. Can you just tell me a little bit about that? And I don't want to mess up your title, so just can you give it to me?
It's okay. I'm a senior liaison and I oversee older adults for the mayor in all 5 boroughs. So I travel through the boroughs. Anything dealing with an older adult, that it comes to me. When he can't go to functions, invited to something for an older adult, it's me. He loves to celebrate those turning 100 and older. And that's one of my favorite parts of the job, when I get to go into the homes and do their birthday. Recently, I was able to, I want to get it right. I was able to represent him for one of the older adults of the city. She lives in Co-op City. She was 113 years old.
113.
113, dancing and all, doing the electric slide. and I'd be in awe just to sit in their presence, just to hear them talk, and and for them to have their right mind, and they'd be so excited and so honored that the mayor thought of them. And as well as when he's able to make it, it's just an honor. It's just an honor.
Oh, that's nice. That's exciting. I'm sure they're excited about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the good part of the job.
So when you say you're a liaison and you go out to different affairs and things like that, but you also do connect them to services and things like that. Okay.
Right. When one of the city, when one of the city agencies are not getting back to them, I'm the person that will call on behalf of the mayor to see why they haven't heard back. Senior centers a call, social workers a call, family members a call, or some folks just don't know the norm of going through these procedures and what services they are. So sometimes, if I don't know, I can go to the Department of Aging, which is wonderful, and they have a resource of things like when they came on and they told you, and they will be able to lead me to somewhere, or I can refer them to them. It's a partnership. It's about partnerships.
Okay, yes, because it gets very complicated for them, and they just need somebody to sometime to lead them or to even explain it to them. So that's really good.
It's very frustrating. These days now everything is through the computer. So watching some of them, it's amazing because they've gotten it. They go to the senior centers, but there's some that don't, so their grandchildren will sit with them and teach them, because it's very important for them to learn it, because, with the computers now and everything is computer, it's dangerous as well, so you have to be very careful.
Right. Absolutely.
And those are the things, like just recently, the mayor put in, the first time ever he joined with the with NYPD, they have an older adult police officer. When you go into the precincts now, you can deal with someone that will specifically deal with just an older adult. And I took a gentleman who was 94 years old to the precinct, and because when he went for recertification, they noticed that he had a business in his name, all this stuff, and this man is 94 years old. So someone did stuff in his name, and it was crazy. So not just to send him into the precinct, but someone sat with him, worked with him, and then it went along with the detectives. It's great work. So it's a lot being done, because as you see, our older adults are outliving us. They're living. They're living.
Yes, they are living longer. Yeah, it's very nice to see that the mayor is that interested that he would appoint someone to work in the police department specifically for older adults. That's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's a great partnership. Yeah.
And this is the mayor of New York City, so everybody knows we're in New York City. Okay. Now, along with this, and I know you have background and knowledge about seniors, but you also were a caregiver.
Yes, yes. Not to one, but two.
But
Both my parents were sick.
Both your parents. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, back in the early 2000s, my mom had my mom went, believe it or not, my mother went for a knee replacement and never did well behind it. She had a stroke. And then my dad, he had prostate problems. They both winded up in a nursing home for rehabilitation.
Right.
So at that time, my mom and dad, I don't mean telling their business, but they were separated, but they were always the best of friends. They were like, because they were married young, they became more like brothers and sisters after their separation. Okay. After they got back together. So they always looked out for one another, even though they were apart. They actually lived across from each other. It's a long story. So when they both got sick, they both went in a nursing home. I was living somewhere else. So what I did was I saved one house and I brought them both into this one house. One lived upstairs and one lived downstairs. Wow. And taking care of the two was different. It was really different. It was really different. It was challenging and I learned a lot, but because I had passion for a senior, right. Well, I have to say older adult, but because I had a passion for elder care, it was a plot for me to find out what was right and what wasn't. And that's some of the things I get frustrated with now where, like I say, sometimes I say that when I retire, I like what you do in Autumn, I commend you for just doing this because it brings knowledge to folks. You don't know what you're going to go through till you get there, right? You get there, yeah. We didn't know what we was going to experience until we had to take care of our parents, right? Yeah. And with our parents being private and set in their ways, there's information that they don't really want to release. And right. Sometimes you never know until they're really, really sick. And you go, wow. And it hurts you because they kept this to them, right? Mm-hmm. So, even when we speak about planning the funeral or insurance and, just little things that they don't like to discuss, it's important. It's really important because when they're not there, we can't ask them, right? Right. So those are the things that I really urge families to sit and discuss. It's not a discussion you want to have, but we should know how we're going to bury our parents. We should know if they have insurance, right? Mm-hmm. And then as well as insurance to keep them healthy. How are they taking care of themselves? It's so much that we don't sit and have conversation with. But one of the things that I'm finding is that we work all our lives and then we get sick. And because we have a little bit of money in the bank or we have, our little pensions, we're not entitled to things when we have a house and stuff like that. So we're not learning that certain communities know how to put their things in trust, right? So they can be able to receive benefits while their house is in a trust. So there's so much that I want to sit and do. But one of the things that I really, really would like to do is I would really like to champion more services for someone. I believe that when they turn over 85, I think the state should take care of them. I don't care what's in the bank. I really believe that services should be rendered to them. There is no reason why if I have a mother at 85 years old and I'm still working, I have to be concerned of how my mom is going to be taken care of. And because she makes $5 over or $6 over, she doesn't get the services. And she worked all her life, all her life.
Yes. Yeah. They pour into the city, the state, the government, whatever, and they pay the taxes. And then, if you outlive your savings and you have nothing, what's there for you? When are they going to step in? They're not. And if you have a lot or you have some savings, which, by these standards, especially in New York, a lot, what we think is a lot is not because of, right. 10 years into that, it's gone.
Yeah. And I just don't find that this organization is really champion the voice of an older adult. I don't find that, I think of ARP, yeah, but it should be more. And I don't knock anyone's way of living. I don't knock anything that you believe in. But anytime we can get bathrooms changed for folks and other things, I think we should be able to get some things done for someone who lived 90 years old that needs services.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's interesting. So when you were taking care of your parents, even though you were already involved with older people and you had a passion for it, were there things that you missed or you didn't know about?
I think I was blessed because of the setting that I was in, that I was always finding out, and learning about, like, even now, because I'm here, like, isolation. I recently just went into one of the senators who from up in Manhattan. She chairs older adults for the state, and she did a workshop on isolation, seniors that are home, and it was really, really informing of what services they can receive, and all types of stuff that can make them more engaged and maybe bring them out of the house, right? But even if they're in the house, engage them, right? Because the average person, if you don't have, sometimes you have one or two children and they're busy or they're in their careers, right? You don't find them in touch with them as much, right? So who's talking to them every day? Right? So then they have all kind of computers and all kind of programs now where they have something where if you say I have a bad back, they get to know who you are. So it's not like I want to know what it's I'm trying to think of what it was called. I should have had it in front of me. But something like, how like Siri says, what do you want today? Stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So it's like an AI that helps them identify what their problem is.
But it gets to even know you. Like if you say, how you feeling today? And you say, oh, my back is not doing too good, right? So the next day they'll say, hey, how's your back feeling? Is it better today? I was like, wait, where is this at? I'm like, oh my gosh. So I wrote it down and I said, I want to do this through New York City, not just in Manhattan. I want to bring this everywhere. So we might have a neighbor that you might talk to, only you talk to, right? Like I use for grandma, right? Grandma is there, right? She's active, but is she really that active where everyone sees her, right? How much information is she getting, right? And then they have pet therapy where some people might want a pet, but say, well, I can't take that dog out and walk. They have electrical pets now where you can just, you can pet them and, where you can have some type of presence. There's all kind of stuff that help seniors that's home with isolation. And it's just, we have to learn how to reach out, but it's the beginning part of like, who do I talk to get this?
Right. And how are people accessible to it? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And everybody doesn't go to the meetings. Right.
Right.
So everyone is not at the community board meeting. Everybody's not at the precinct count meeting. Everybody's not going to the senior center. Right. What about that senior, or what about that person that's just home, but you know them? Are you sharing that information with them?
Right. Yeah. That's great. So are there things that are on the horizon that you may have know about that is coming, that's going to help senior centers or things like that? Because senior centers, I think, is a great idea.
It is. And I would really like for more engagement. I would like to see more engagement. Like, how can I say? I don't want to say, let's knock on the door and say, hey, what are you doing? Are you getting out more? We need something like that, or more. Well, what I like is this commissioner. She's amazing. Lorraine, Commissioner Backless. She has for the first time I haven't seen in a long time. I don't know if you saw the commercial where they're inviting the seniors to come out.
Oh, no.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Yeah. I saw it once or twice. Okay. And I was like, I was excited to see something like that. Okay. And, to let them know that, we're back up, we're open, because a lot of seniors still are scared to come out.
Yes.
Because look, as soon as the weather changed, the flu is coming.
It's National Caregivers Month. And I know that you're involved with other things, but you're also involved you were a caregiver. What advice would you give someone that's going through now like I know both of your parents are gone, they have passed, but what advice would you give that would be helpful to someone who's going through now?
Sometimes you got to have somebody for yourself, and you got to take time for yourself, because a sick person can kill you.
Wow.
A sick person can kill you. So I always said that I would never be the same, and I'm not.
Wow. Okay.
So what I to this day I still haven't found a therapist, and I want one because I have a lot in my head that I want to discuss. But I would hope that they would be able to just find someone, a support team, a girlfriend, a friend, someone to always talk to, because a lot of the pain and that you see, because a caregiver, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. And there's a saying, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but there's a saying: a mother can take care of 10 children, but 10 children can't take care of one mother.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And but what I learned in taking care of them, I was grateful because I was chosen and I was strong enough to do it. Yeah. And that was the rewarding part to me when I thought it over. So, have a support team, have someone to talk to, because you will always, God forbid, when your eyes close, you will always doubt yourself. And never doubt yourself, because you did something that the next person didn't want to do or couldn't do. You did it. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. If you go in these nursing homes, it's really sad, and I went to see my dad, and sometime I got busy, and if I stayed away 2 weeks or 10 days, I could see the neglect, how they neglected my dad. Right? So could you imagine if there's no one coming to see about them?
There's a lot of people in there that no one visits.
Yeah. And I mean, making the right decisions is hard, because, it comes to the part of when you really become that caregiver and you have to make the decisions for them. And you're like, you question yourself, did I make that wrong decision? And you gotta be good with yourself. You really have to be good with yourself, because if not, you really need support, because it's not easy. It is not easy. It's not. It's not. And when you grow up with your parents, they don't prepare you for death. Right. You don't sit around and say, "Oh, they're gonna get sick." And one of my biggest challenges today now is Alzheimer's and dementia. And to have older adults where they're not in touch with their family, or their family is not really recognizing this disease and what it's doing for the family member, it's really, really troubling. It's really, really troubling. And I think we really have to rally around it and get some more, because taking care of someone with dementia, especially when they really start regressing and they become angry and dangerous and want to hurt you because they're feeling that you're doing something to them, that can be, now that's a whole different type of care. Yeah,
it is.
That's a whole different type of care.
It is.
And you got to know that it's okay, that you can't do something. Sometimes if you don't have that time and that kind of energy, that's something where you have to bring in a professional person to help you, or put them somewhere where they don't hurt you and hurt themselves.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, if you don't want to answer, it's fine. But I know you took care of both of your parents. And I just want to ask you, with your mom or with your dad, or both of them, they could be separate. If you had one more day with your dad or one more day with your mom, and it could be separate things, what would that look like? What would that be? How would that go about? what are the things that you would do? And it could be anything. It could be something that you never did with them or something that you like to do with them. Anything that you feel that, if you only had one more day, you were granted one more day with them, what would that look like?
Well, with my mom, I'm a shopper. I love to shop. I would just put her in a car and take her shopping. That was something that, like these days now, I call it my community mothers. They'll call me, we'll shop because I love to shop. And I'll take them all over and find bargains and stuff. And I never had that with my mom. Because when I was in a position where I drove and I had the finances to do stuff like that, my mom was sick. She was in the bed. She was bedridden. My mother, I had to take my mother in and out of the bed in a Hoyer lift. My mother didn't walk. My mother, like I said, she had 2 knee replacements and never did well by her.
Oh, no.
Never did well. And we fought her. She had the first one, and then she had a stroke, and then she went back with the second one. And we was like, you don't need to have that. And the doctor was like, she's in her right mind and she can make her own decisions. But my mother never did well behind it. She couldn't bear with the pain. The knee replacement is a very painful, even though it's reconstructed, it's painful. So you really have to push yourself through that rehabilitation. And she didn't. So I always tell folks when they talk about knee replacements, if you can't do pain, don't do it. Stay in the pain you in. It's a different type of pain. My aunt right now had one, and she said that she's sorry she did it. She's in too much pain. Some people can bear with pain. You really have to be active and really get the right type of rehabilitation for those knee replacements. And if you don't, it's not going to happen. So with my mom, I wish I would have been able to just put her in a car and take her shopping. That's something. And with my dad, if I had a chance to do it all over again, my dad was stubborn. He didn't want me to change him. He wouldn't let me take care of him. So that's why my dad wound up in the nursing home at the end. But I wish I would have never put him in a nursing home. I wish I would have had the care that I had for my mother. I wish I would have did it. My father would still be alive. The nursing home killed my father. My father was strong. He was tired. The last time I seen him, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail. It was horrible.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing, a nursing home. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, the nursing home situation is a whole another thing, and that needs to be repaired and looked at. Yeah. So, okay. Well, is there anything else that you would like to say to caregivers or anyone that is involved with older people and, something that you want?
Find someone to get resources from. Don't stop.
Okay.
There is someone out there that can help you and give you the information that you need. I'll give you my number, my telephone number. I'm going to give you my personal number, not my job, because I'm here as Karen, the caregiver, not Karen, the liaison to the mayor, Karen. It's not easy, but it's worth it. There's always somebody that knows somebody. And the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Communities of other colors and other nationalities stick together. We as us, we have to do the same.
Yeah.
Even if you say, Karen, are you busy? Can you come sit with my mom for an hour? I got to run out. Try it. You'd be surprised. Yeah. I had girlfriends. I had 2 that just did. I had a support system around me that was great. And trust me, sometimes your parents don't want to be around them. But my mom took to 2 that changed my mother, and that meant a lot. That meant a lot. So there's always someone that want to help. There's always, they might be private, but help them come out of that privacy to live. Because sometimes that privacy will kill you. Kill all of y'all.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
Time out to share.
Let me give you my number.
Go ahead. Give me your number.
347.
Oh, wait a minute.
347.
Okay.
347 262 0448. Again, that's 347 262 0448. And my personal email is Karen, KAREN, CHRR @gmail.com. Send me an email. If there's something you need, some type of resources, I can definitely bring you back over to my job. Okay. But I just try to be of order, right? Because I'm here on a personal level. Right. So, but if I do need to bring you through the mayor's office, I can do that as well. Okay. But it's a team it's support that's going to get you through this. Taking care of a loved one, you can't do it by yourself. You think you're doing it by yourself. Yeah. But even picking up the phone to say, girl, this thing is rough, will help you. Yeah, because sometimes we don't admit to it because we feel either embarrassed or that. Yeah. You feel like you're supposed to be able to do it, but you can't. Your heart wants to do it, but realistically, you can't. So, because it's phases to this. It's caregiving, and then it's that bereavement part. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. It's real. Yeah. It's real. It's real. Because you talk about taking care, like I applaud you for what you're doing, because this is outsourced to someone that's saying, wow, I felt the same way. You're not alone. Right? Right. Do you really want to sit there hearing someone complain about their mother? And I don't have my mother? But you going through it. You have a right. You have a right to feel how you feeling, right? Right. But just know your space. Know where you at. Know who you speaking to. Because it's a blessing. I would do it all over again. And I know you would too. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And what keeps me is the memories, right? Yes. Yeah. That's what keeps me is the memories. But keep doing what you're doing. And if there's anything I can do, and when I do get everything together, I'm going to come back on and give you the resources. Because when I went for that orientation for isolation, it blew my mind. Just the stuff that, is going to be available, that is available for someone that's home. So I want to, be able to get that out to different organizations and different communities, so older adults know that, you can pick up the phone, or you can do this, or come on out that house. Right. Yep. Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You're welcome. I appreciate you being a part of Autumn here. And I'm sure this information will help someone. So thank you again. Yep. Take care. Happy holidays. Enjoy. Same to you. Bye-bye. All right. Bye-bye.